The most electrifying man in sports entertainment finally hit the DCEU in the movie Black Adam, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. All the lightning and electricity that he brings to the ring, that he brings to movies, he brings to his superhero persona in this movie Black Adam from 2022. The first half of the review is going to be non-spoiler, the second half is going to be spoilers, and let's go ahead and get into it on this episode of Movie Breakdowns. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Zakka. And before I get started with the review, what you want me to do, let me know. Please put in the comment section below, and I'll get to it as best I can. Also, Patreon.com/Zakka for $2 a month. You can cut in front of everybody, get your review out way before it comes out on Facebook and YouTube. And you can also get other content out there, such as trailer reactions, some other stuff like Halloween stuff I'm putting out this month, like just other things I might be doing around, playing around with. You'll get that on the Patreon. Now, let's go ahead and get into today's episode of 2022's Black Adam, which I've heard this movie was in production for a long time. The Rock was cast to be Black Adam for a long time, and I never thought it was going to happen. And when I first heard of a Black Adam movie, I was thinking like, that's a villain. Why are we doing the villain of Shazam getting his own movie? And I'm going in it thinking, no high expectations. We'll see what happens, and let's have a fun time. And what is this movie about? This movie is about Black Adam coming back to life after 5,000 years of being in a tomb, or he finally comes back and he's trying to adapt to the fish out of water scenario, but also at the same time his homeland has been taken over by modern day terrorists, and he pretty much got to win his homeland back and also at the same time stop the Justice League or Justice Society of America, not the JLA but the JSA, stop them and toe the line between good and evil. And that is the gist of Black Adam. The things that I like, the storyline was cool. I like the storyline. It's something that you've seen before. You've seen this in all of the Marvel movies, DC movies. The superhero tropes are there, but the storyline does work for this. The CGI works, and I like how Black Adam, he's a villain slash anti-hero, and he is legit doing villainous stuff. He is killing, just completely destroying people, and the trailer shows you that. The trailer shows what he's doing in the trailer. In this movie, he does exactly that, and you have the Justice Society of America, which includes Hawkman and Dr. Fate and Atom Smasher and Cyclone, who are trying to stop Black Adam from pretty much constantly going on this tirade and destroying pretty much his city. And they're trying to stop him and say, hey man, no killing. If we're gonna do this, you gotta do it a certain way. And pretty much they butt heads throughout this movie. And there's a bunch of cool scenes where they're fighting each other, and they're trying to conflict of interest and views that they do, and just battling each other out. In reality, what's going on is that the city that is the homeland of Black Adam is taken over by the terrorists, and Black Adam's pretty much trying to free the city, but at the same time not doing the same way as most heroes do, and that's what caused most of the main conflict, which it was good. It worked for this movie. It was good stuff. I enjoyed that. But you also have the other tropes as like the third act of every superhero movie. You have the big bad and just the light show and a lot of CGI fights and stuff like that you see. Multiple cut scenes in this movie when it comes to CGI fights. Like you get chopped up scenes in certain parts where you're like, wait a minute, where am I following? Who am I following? And I get it because people be moving so fast that you want to cut it up to show how fast they're moving. But then the movie also does a slow motion effect. This movie loves the slow motion effect for scenes that didn't really need a slow motion effect. There's a time where pacing seems kind of off in the movie where it's like, we're going to get to the climactic part because we see what's happening, but then you keep slowing down every scene. I don't need a slow motion effect for somebody who could throw wind at somebody, but we get that. I don't need slow motion effect for somebody hitting a bat with somebody, but we get that. And they did it so much in this movie, which one of my dislikes, I should say, the slow motion. At first, it was cool. Matter of fact, you see if you've seen pretty much Days of Future Past, Sonic the Hedgehog, or any other movie where there's a speedster in it, you get that scene in this movie not once but twice. And then you get it for normal people, which you're like, A normal person don't need a slow motion effect, and that took me out of it. They get the slow motion effect so much in this movie that I was like, calm down, guys. Take out the slow motion effect. It was cool the first couple of times. Now you're overdoing it. And I get Black Adam has the power of Shazam, so he's can move super fast. He has power of lightning. He has all the other stuff. So I get for him why you do a slow motion effect, but then there's other people you just don't need to do it for. And that's one thing that was a negative on me, was the fact they overdone some of the CGI effect, and some of the special effects in the movie was overdone. The acting is great. The cast in the movie is great. Everybody brings it. Everybody delivers 110%. The Rock is doing great as Black Adam. There's a couple of comedy bits in this movie. I was in the theaters and people laughed at certain scenes I was with. So like, there's some comedy in here. There's some good action. There is some good acting as well. Another negative, though, I will add to it, because I'm mixing it up right now, my likes and dislikes. Another negative I will add to that, the tropes, you've seen the tropes before, and a lot of exposition stuff that gets brought up that kind of get pushed to the wayside, and you're like, wait a minute, well, how did we get here? What did we get here? How did we get here? Who are these characters? What they have to do with it? And then, of course, the villain in the movie is not really a good villain, but the movie's more centric on Black Adam and his journey of whether or not he wanted to like be the villainous guy or be an anti-hero, and picking and choosing how to adapt in modern day times. So stuff you've seen in Wonder Woman 1, you're gonna get it in this movie. Stuff you've seen in like Aquaman, you're gonna get in this movie, or some trinket or thing that you have to hunt down, you're going to get in this movie as well. And then as far as like weak villains, you get the same thing in the movie. I understand it's called Black Adam, but when you introduce a villain that Adam has overcome, you're just like, okay, sure. It's a fine movie. I think you're going to have fun. If you like superhero movies, you're going to have fun watching this movie. You're not going to be like, God, this is horrible. No, you're going to have a good time in this movie. You're going to like some of the pieces. You're going to like some of the action bits. And then if you've seen superhero movies and that's all you watch, you're going to be kind of bored by some of the tropes you see over and over again. But you know what? It is what it is. It's a fun time. I had fun with this movie. It's just an average superhero movie that you'll have fun with. All right, let's kind of get into the cast, directing, and everything. So this movie was directed by Drame Colette Sarah. I hope I said the name right. Writers Adam Skidskill, Roy Haynes, and Shoga No Shivani. Sorry guys, I messed your name up. So there's the writers and directors of it. The movie is rated PG-13, and I would say that I heard this movie was rated R for the violence in the movie, and they actually dialed back. And there's time in the movie you see cut scenes that if it's rated R, it'd probably be a different cut scene, and it'd probably be a different scene altogether. But because it's rated PG-13, they kind of dialed back on some of the violence in this movie. But this movie shows scenes where I'm like, ooh, that's messed up. I'll talk more about it in the spoilers, but yes, there's some scenes in the movie where you're like, ooh, okay. All right, cool beans. We're doing this. It just came out, so there's not really a box office yet. And the cast, you have Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. I think Dwayne Johnson is doing a great job as Black Adam. He's doing a great job being a fish out of water who don't really understand what's going on, who's going to adapt to everything, learn about the history of what's going on, learn about the history of the last 5,000 years, and seeing that like, okay, this is what has happened and transpired since it's been gone, and he's learned about everything, and he's trying to adapt to who is not free and who is controlling everything, and he's trying to be that fish out of water and understand what people consider justice is in this day and age. Aldous Hodge, who plays Hawkman, thought he did a good job as Hawkman. His character in this movie was super angry. He was angry all the time. I don't know why he was angry, ready to fight. Maybe Hawkman is that guy in the comic books. In the TV shows, Hawkman never really been a guy that was reserved or laid back, but he also never been a guy to like head in first, like I punch first, talk less. And this movie, Hawkman was that guy, punch first, talk less. His design was cool, but at a certain time where the mask kind of took me out of it. I don't know whether maybe this mask was CGI or the mask was like a real mask, but it just didn't look right on Audrey's head at certain points in time. But other than that, it was fine. The design, I would say the design of the characters looked like who they're supposed to be, and I give props to them for doing that. Pierce Brosnan, who played Dr. Fate, great. I love Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate. I love the banner that Pierce Brosnan, Aldous Hodge, and Dwayne Johnson all have with each other. I thought they did a good job. There's a couple of scenes in here where Pierce Brosnan and Dwayne Johnson both shine at the same time, and I love it. Dr. Fate was a cool addition to the movie. I love seeing Dr. Fate on the big screen. It's awesome to see him. Noah Centineo, who plays Atom Smasher, he was fine. He's more of a side character to the main crew, but he's part of Justice Society of America in this movie, and so is Quintessa Swindle, who plays Cyclone. She has some really awesome moments in this movie. She probably has some of the best moments. Her, Black Adam, Dr. Fate, and Aldous Hodge out of the superheroes. They have some great moments. But she's also more of a side character as well. And there's a story between her, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher that the movie tried to put into, but it doesn't really add much to the movie. Almost like they try to set up for another movie in the future. And this movie does have a lot of plot points in here that's one of the ones that kind of falls to the wayside as the movie goes on. You have Sarah Sahi, who plays Adrian. She is kind of like the what you call those, not treasure hunter, not I can't think of somebody who studied artifacts, but she studied artifacts and like a professor. Yes, I guess she was a professor. Yeah, she said at one point she was a teacher, like a professor, and she's searching down this tomb to find, finding Black Adam. But she was good in this movie, and she actually is a vital part to this movie and to the superheroes around. You have Bahi Sabangui, who played Ahmad. Great job for him. Thought he did good. Marin Kenzari, who plays Ishmael, good job from him. I think the acting in the movie was great from everybody in here. And there's one more guy I need to give a shout out to. Mohammed Amir, who played Kareem. He was the best part of the movie when it came to comedy, and he did a good job adding comedy to his movie. Good from him. Comic relief. Any other thoughts? The music in this movie is great. I love the music score for Black Adam. I thought it did a good job when it came to like his music score. I almost thought like it's Hans Zimmer behind the music in this movie. But then they also have like licensed music in this movie. There's a part where you have a song that's playing in the background and it slows it down for like it does in Days of Future Past. And then you also get another song in the movie like makes sense, but it also came out of like left field with Spectrum when we was no longer doing licensed music. This song came in, you're like, oh, well, I did not see that coming. Did not see that coming. Also, Amanda Waller's back, played by Viola Davis. She's back in the movie as well, playing Amanda Waller. She's got her hands in a bunch of pots, but she's good as always. And CGI was fine. It's like a modern day superhero movie, so it works. It really does at this day and age. And that's about it. Is this a movie you should see in theaters? If you're a superhero fan, go watch this movie. Enjoy it and great time. I'm going to grade Black Adam from 2022. I'm going to give this movie a solid C, a 75%. It's literally like your average superhero movie in today's age. It delivers on everything you want to see. It's not the best of everything, but it does a good job. You're going to walk away having fun, enjoy yourself, action fest, good movie, solid C. Let's see what IMDb gives this movie. IMDb gives it a 7.3 out of 10. That's a C minus. And let's see what Rotten Tomatoes give this movie. So the critics give this movie a 43%. That's an F. That's below 50. And the audience gives this movie 88%, which is a B plus. So the audience thinks it's a B plus. Rotten Tomatoes thinks it's a 43%. This movie's not a 43%. So I'm not sure why Rotten Tomatoes have a B out with this, because I thought this movie was fine. I don't think it was that bad. So don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes critics, but the audience are a good indicator of how good this movie is, and IMDb gives a good indicator. I think this movie is more of a C. It's like every other superhero movie that you've seen that's really good. It's, to me, is a good DCEU movie. Like it's up there with, I'd probably put it And that list is not vast. I don't think we got 15 DCEU movies yet. We got Aquaman, Man of Steel, um, Justice League, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman 2, Shazam, Black Adam's number 9. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh, Suicide Squad 1 and 2. So we do have 10. We have 11. This movie is in the top, like, 8. I'll say that. It's going to be a top 8 of the DCEU movies. Like, I'm not sure where you rank them at. I got to figure out if I want to do ranking videos for them. But, yeah, this is nowhere near the bottom. This is more the middle of the pack. More the middle of the pack. If you've seen Black Adam, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. On that, stick around for the spoilers section. And if not, see you guys in the next episode of Movie Breakdowns. And keep being awesome. Spoiler time. So, the first thing I want to talk about is that Henry Cavill is back as Superman. He shows up in the after credit scene of this movie to pretty much have a stare down with Black Adam because Amanda Waller said you can do what you want in your city, Black Adam, but in your town, you rule it how you want. You rule your city however you want, but you cannot step foot out of the city. The moment you do, my person from outer space is going to show up. So they make it like Amanda Waller like this boss of superheroes for some reason. I get, Suicide Squad, I get that, but she will call in a favor to call in Black Adam, and I call in Superman, and Superman shows up. They're about to have a discussion, and we'll go from there. So they're setting up Superman versus Black Adam in the future, which you should do Superman versus Shazam, but hey, it is what it is. Shazam and Superman are the same thing, so it's cool. One uses magic, the other one's actually born that way, but they're pretty much the same. And to add to that, it was kind of cool to see that I geeked out. Now, as far as the other spoilers, you find Black Adam in a tomb, what they think is a tomb, and Adrian has a necklace that can, like, there's like this kind of this magical material, the energy material that can hurt Black Adam or make him normal. And Adrian has one of the metal pieces to this metal that also brings apart the villain, which is a crown that once you get this crown, it opens up the underworld and you gotta die, and it opens up the underworld and you become like the Sabbath or Sabbath, whatever, some devil villain in DC. So you come as devil villain who's the main bad guy. Ishmael turns that guy because it's the family lineage and he's a part of it. So the movie opens up with like the history of Black Adam and what happened. I think it's Kondak is overtaken by a ruler. They live peacefully. They're overtaken by a ruler, and this ruler's a villain. He didn't care about his people. And just enslaved the people and just did horrible things. And a kid pretty much stood up to this king, and then he was chosen as the chosen one to become Shazam. And for 5,000 years, the story was told that like The Rock was the hero of 5,000 years that brought down this emperor and saved the people and liberate the people. But now it's under again by Interpol, who is a crime gang, and they're over in the city and they're waiting for Black Adam to come back and save him, or the history to come back and save him, or somebody to save him. And Adrian is searching for this tomb, and she ended up finding the crown, and she found Black Adam's tomb, or what they think is a tomb. Reality, what happened in the movie, I like how the movie does the story of this, where like it opens up with this exposition and gives like the whole story that ended up being a farce, I should say, because what really happened, as you learn throughout this movie, I like how the movie slowly introduces one with the statue that's been built for Black Adam, and Black Adam sees it, and he thinks he's looking at it like he knows it's not him, but he keeps looking at the statue. And as the movie progresses, there's a moment where Hawkman and Black Adam have a talk about their son, about Black Adam's son. His son is actually the real Shazam, and he gave his power to his father when the mom got killed and his dad got killed, almost died. So his son gave his power to his dad, and then his son gets killed, and that's when Black Adam decides to go and kill the king out of rage. And because he did use his power for vengeance and not for justice, the guys that gave Shazam their power decided to imprison him. So he was actually in prison for 5,000 years, not buried. So he doesn't have a sense of justice. His thing is, you harm my people, you harm people I care about, I'm going to kill you. And in this movie, he is killing people left and right. He tears off somebody's arm, he throws a grenade in somebody's mouth, he is shocking people to death. The first guy, he like pretty much shocks him with his bones and stuff, like just crumbles in front. Like, Black Adam is a menace to society and should not be trusted. And the Justice Society of America, they think that, yeah, he can't be trusted, so they go and try to stop him. Hawkman's ready for a fight right off the bat versus, let's say they have a conversation, and when this fight happens, we see that like the heroes, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, Atom Smasher, and Cyclone, they destroy the city. They are destroying the city around them, and Black Adam's not to really destroy the city, he just destroying Interpol, who are a terrorist organization. He's taking out the terrorists, and people are cheering for Black Adam, and Hawkman is like, he's not who you think he is, he's a horrible guy, he's the worst of the worst. And they're like, well, he saved us, what was you doing? Where was Justice Society of America? Y'all came over thinking he's the monster, when in reality, y'all should be saving us. I like that talking point where it's like, yeah, Black Adam's not killing random people, he's killing a terrorist group. And he's liberating his people from a horrible situation, but he's killing everybody left and right. Hawkman's like, yeah, but he's doing it wrong. He should be do justice. And Black Adam's like, I am giving them justice. They kill, I'm killing. Like, I actually like that talking point. I wish the movie would have went in more on that. They don't. They kind of like leave it at that piece. I wish another we would have got some more backstory on the Justice Society of America. There's a scene with Dr. Fate sees a vision of the future, and he sees that Hawkman is going to die, and then Dr. Fate's end up dying, which I don't think he actually died. I think he put his soul or spirit into another projection universe, because I think he done it before in the cartoon or one of the books I read. But I think he pushed his body into another actual field, so therefore he can't die. But anyway, there's a scene where Dr. Fate dies, and you're like, oh my gosh, because the actors are doing such a good job being their characters, you kind of feel for Dr. Fate in this moment, but in reality, we shouldn't really care because we just met them. Also, Cyclone and Atom Smasher had a thing for some reason. They tried to throw that in there. Another thing, when I talk about the tomb at the beginning of the movie, apparently Interpol was looking for not Dr. Fate, but Black Adam's tomb, and they couldn't find it or found this crown. They were looking for his tomb, looking for this crown, which is supposed to bring the power of the devil to the universe. But they're looking for it, and he couldn't find it, and I guess Adrian could read the poneglyphs and tell where they need to go, so that's why they were looking for it. So, but the moment that they got there, Ismail was like, all right, everybody can show up. And like, how can they find it before? It was, they really walked into a tomb, came there and found it, boom, bang, they're this. But there's a plot holes in the movie where I was like, okay, sure. All of a sudden, this is happening for plot convenience. I get it, I understand, but sure. And for the most part, though, it's a fun superhero movie. You're gonna have a good time. That's pretty much main spoilers about that. Like, Dr. Fate dies, Black Adam and Hawkman go at it, like, but the trailer kind of showed you that, and the main villain is Sabbath, one of the, I don't know what his name is, just an unknown name villain who turns to the devil that Black Adam legit rips in half. And at first, the reason why he was in prison because he lost control and pretty much killed everybody. So they put him in prison, but he's not a good guy. He never said I was a good guy. Never called myself a hero. He's just doing what he's doing. Kareem, the guy who played Kareem Mohammed, he's great at comedy. His comedic beats was hilarious. I think everybody kind of laughed in the theater when his stuff came on. They overdid the slow motion stuff a lot. Like, they just, every moment. Cyclone, they love to do when she was like she was throwing the wind, they would slow it down because she was moving so fast, they'd slow it down, and then they slowed it down when they was fighting Sabbath, like Atom Smasher, Hawkman, and Cyclone was like jumping, they did the slow motion thing. They did the slow motion thing so much in this movie, I don't know why. What are they doing it for every single fight scene? We didn't need slow motion for every single fight. For somebody throwing a bat or an uppercut to somebody, I didn't need the slow motion, but the movie did it. I wish they kind of explained more of the powers. Like, I think Hawkman has the power of a god as well, or some kind of deity. I could be wrong about that. So that's how he's able to stand toe to toe with Black Adam, because he was going back and forth with Black Adam, and I'm pretty sure he has some kind of spiritual power that allows him to do that. Because the movie didn't really explain these characters like showed up And boom. Also, I'm pretty sure the X-Men mansion was in this movie as a backdrop when they left Hawkman's place. I like how Hawkman was a rich guy as well and just had his estate. And the back of the estate looked like the X-Men mansion from X-Men 3 or 2. And I was just like, I've seen that before. In this movie, you're going to see a lot of stuff. You see in other movies, you're going to see a lot of stuff before, but it's a fun time. The acting and music really make this movie really great, and the CGI works, so fun time. That's all I got to talk about with spoilers. If you guys seen Black Adam, what did you think as well? Please put in the comment section. Other than that, see you next episode of Movie Breakdowns, and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If there's a review you want me to watch or do, let me know. Please put it in the comment section below this video. Also, you want to watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns, it's right there. Just gotta click on it and you'll be able to watch it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all and keep being awesome.